Welcome to the show. My name is Kai, and today we have a very special guest in studio for you. He's an author, a writer, a teacher, and a communicator.
Thank you.
Rudolph Anthony Williams. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Kai.
You have been writing for the past 40 years. You published your first book in the 80s?
It's more like 50 years.
50 years. Wow. That's a long time.
But I published my first book in the 80s, which was a collection of writings, stories and so on, and poems, based on my earlier experiences, which was highlighted by an incident I had where I was in an accident, and I was rescued. And I used to be depressed after the accident. A couple of people had died, and 2 people had died. I was pulled out from my two hands from between 2 people. And I realized later that one of the persons had been a kind of shadow to me. So I used to get extremely depressed and didn't realize what it was. But I used to write as a means of trying to assuage my sense of guilt about the whole incident. And that's why I got into writing. Later on, I will develop my skills much further. And even as a teacher, I started to write more. And then later on, I published my
So what was the name of your first published book?
If I Die Tonight.
If I Die Tonight, a collection of short stories?
And poems.
And poems.
Yes. And If I Die Tonight is a poem based on the death of writer named Eric Roach, a journalist, respected journalist who committed suicide. He drank Gramazone and went on in Pinam, and he died there. And we were all shocked because he was a respected man, we didn't seem to have any problems. And we gathered as writers to pay homage, and I wrote that poem for the event we were having.
So how do you stay motivated after so many years in this industry?
Because you like to think, and you have some experiences where your work actually touched people. And you may not be a popular figure in the sense that you would like in music also. But every now and then you see it coming up. You may hear somebody writing something or talking, and they suddenly refer to something you said or wrote. And in the case of If I Die Tonight, one day I remember walking up High Street in San Fernando, and I heard this guy talking to me from a taxi. And when I went up to me, he was saying, "If I die tonight, which will not go twice, we're reciting my poem."
Oh, so he knew who you were?
Yeah.
He saw your face, he's like, oh, that's the guy who wrote If I Die Tonight. And he knew the poem by heart.
And he had attended the forum.
Oh, wow.
So that's how it goes. And then you meet people who tell you, I don't know you, I saw you somewhere, you know? Engage. Once I saw 2 guys talking, and I went up and said, oh, we were talking about you, and we started talking about something I wrote.
Wow.
So that you know you're influencing people. Be responsible for what you write, what you do. And you take risks because they may not interpret it as you at that point in time. But later on they do, and you have to take that chance.
What was one of the biggest challenges you faced when you got into this writing sphere? Because you were working and writing.
To stay sane.
To stay sane?
Because as you write, especially in my circumstances, you could get a blur between sanity and reality. You're trying to stay normal, just plain acting normal and something. And young people use that term, some acting normal and saying something. But if you don't hold that angle, you could lose the line. I have a friend who lost that line. Educated man, went to university, had his degree, very, very bright, very, very bright, charming guy. Had friends and ladies. And he would go in a bar and talk, and he's a man with talking to you, they call it back and he see a tree. And he starts to write a poem in his mind, talking to you. And after that, I have a poem. You know? But he had gone to jail as a political activist because he took the thing very seriously, as we all did, but he lived it out. And I think jail changed him. When he came back out, he was a fella in the same kind of blow I talked about. He lost his way between reality as he's supposed to do it and insanity. So he ended up walking on the street, reading his poems to people, and shutting down under the Raleigh cinema, what is shut down under Playhouse, a drama.
That's where he died?
Yeah, Rivoli Theatre.
Where is that? That sounds like it's before my time.
Coffee Street in San Fernando. Probably still there. And he died. You know? And that kind of is an example. Of course, everybody expected me to be following him.
Oh, they expect you to go crazy?
Yeah, because we were extremely good friends. Extremely good friends.
But you didn't go mad?
No. I kept my sanity. And I kept my sense of reality. I don't know how much different it is. But that's the line you keep walking, a tightrope.
Of sanity and insanity.
Yeah.
Well, I work in the music industry, so I fully
Alright,
understand.
you have a very good appreciation of it.
A lot of people in the industry is walking that tightrope.
Yeah.
I think it's I call it the creator's disease, depression.
Yes.
That's what I call it, because most creators I meet have some form of depression, or is battling with it, or dealing with it, or self-worth.
Yeah.
A lot of those issues, I think, come with being a creator and putting things out to the world for people to critique.
Especially with musicians when they are public figures.
Right. Okay. How do you feel about the changing landscape of the publishing industry? Because everything is moving away from hard copy and books.
Yes.
And for a couple of years we were online, we were Kindle. Now people have gone to tablets. What's your feeling on that? Because a lot of things have changed.
Yeah, well, as a person who grew up with holding books in your hand, you tend to feel very distant from the audience. You don't know, and if you're not okra with the publishing industry as it is now, like myself, you tend to feel distant. But you become very aware. And then on the other hand, it's so easy to get on. It's like just click your finger and you publish. And in that space, there's a tendency to find yourself going under that thing very quickly without taking the responsibility of making sure you write something responsible. So that's what social media is about. That doesn't mean you have to something good in it, but it could be so easily vacuous and it could cause damage to a lot of people. I think people saying, you can talk about anybody, bring down anybody, but what about the responsibility to make sure you see the right thing, or you see a correct thing. So it's easy to get on, but I wonder how responsible some of us are.
Like, share, subscribe.
Second slash is available
Down below, you'll see it on the screen. We're gonna put up in a corner the merch logo for you to order your merch.
Yeah.
And so how do you unwind after a big project? When you finish a book, because you're on the tail end of a book right now, what do you do to relax? What is your recuperation? What do you do to come back?
Basic things like go on a beach, meet somebody by a bar, take a line. Basic things.
You're very treaty.
There's a bar in Universal, in St. James named Universal. All things Universal. And you could go there right now, and it's like you're going on another world. Lots of men and women living out some dream over a drink of white Coke.
And Coke. I call it the ultimate stage. If you want to be a star and you didn't find your greatness, you can find your greatness in a bar.
Yes.
You can find, because somebody will listen to you.
Yes.
And while you're drumming their sorrows, to all your stories, to all your books, to all your requests, to all your poems,
correct.
To all your fables.
And they're all there, like they're there waiting for you, So I'll be right there waiting for you. And these men sit down there and they're talking. Sometimes talking to themselves, but they're talking to you. And they're talking and you enter their world. And you're an artist, you're always looking for a character, you're always looking for a book. And some of people are laughing to yourself, but you're really laughing at the man who, or with the man who is telling you certain things. And there's people waiting behind the bar to hand you something. You could even go on money, sit down there and watch, drink some water, watch people. So that's the proverbial kind of place I would find myself, somewhere, whether home or somewhere. Take a little trip somewhere.
A watery hole.
Yeah, good.
Alright, so I have a list of things that we're going to shoot past, and you're just going to give me your opinion on it.
Yeah.
Because we had a conversation leading up to this interview, and you have some really big world views that you want to bring to Trinidad.
Yeah.
What is Pan Day?
Well, as you know, Trinidad has declared what is Pan Day by the United Nations in recognition of the role that Pan has played in terms of pioneering in the music industry. And so based on that, I have a site called Pan Day, where we would use as much opportunity to push the Pan forward together with Carnival culture, to show that it's not just Pan to beat. Pan is Pan has a role, and the Pan man, especially the Bootsy Sharps and the Street Simons and whoever else, and Charles, they have all been pioneers and bringing people forward. And it was very recognized by all the governments when people like Ronnie Williams, Prime Minister, and Prime Minister Eric Williams came forward, and it started that thing called Panorama. You call it the corral, men who were beating one another, shooting one another, with knives and bombs and guns on the street. If you remember the song by Vicky, and when the two band clash, mama, that is back on now. Never be again. Job in a steam pan and Port the Street. They stayed from that, they wanted to sleep. And then each one became, mama, this is my star, this is my star. Catch it up.
Yes.
DVD.
Oh, it's the same song reinterpolated?
No, Krishna came with each other. Another song. This is Mass. In defense. Harmony.
Same harmony?
Harmony.
Harmony. Oh, in harmony.
Yeah, people live in harmony and instead of fighting one another. And that's what the Pan. And so at Panorama, leading the way. And Carnival, leading the culture. And setting the stage for the world. There's Panorama all over the world.
There is. I've been to Panorama in New York.
Yes. Siban Festival.
And I have friends in Japan. Big up my Japanese Pan crew. Some friends of mine.
They come now in
every year they come to Trinidad from Japan to play steel pan in some of the bands out here.
And then you have many men up there playing pan in school, teaching pan in schools and so Trinidadians. And then you have like Nottingham Carnival, which is
Notting Hill, Notting Hill. Yes, that's in London.
The biggest thing, you know. So
I do about 10 carnivals a year.
Okay.
And Panorama is definitely one of the things I look forward to if I get the chance to go and see it. Not every carnival have a panorama because not every city or community or culture is big enough to support it.
Yes.
Because you need a lot of players to play in the pan.
Yes.
The bigger cities, the major cities have pan bands. So like New York, Toronto, Miami, I believe, was working on one. New York, Toronto for sure. I've been to Panorama in those places.
London
has a pan band. Bring up Croydon Steel Orchestra. I have friends everywhere. I used to play for Invaders.
Okay.
So a lot of my friends used to come to Trinidad and we used to play in Invaders.
Yeah.
So I met all these people because of pan, because of steel pan.
But last year Invaders, I walked through Invaders, I don't recognize the thing. These are the young people.
Well, it's always been since I was there 10 years ago.
So the young people, as well, these people come from, and they come from Japan, they come from France and things,
and then they have a lot of school children. So because of the geographic location of Invaders Steel Orchestra, they are between about 3 or 4 high schools.
And then you have this Highlanders.
There's Highlanders. There is Invaders. Silver Stars. Silver Stars on Woodford Street. And then there's Invaders across the road from the Oval. Then there is Phase 2,
Yes.
Down by Woodbrook Place.
The modern stars, modern years or something like that, still band that didn't last so long.
I don't know what.
Woodbrook modern years.
Yes, I remember that band.
Yeah, but they've been wrapped up for some reason.
They are wrong. I didn't hear them this season. Starlight, that down Starlight right down there.
And who's the idea too?
Yeah, that's Phase 2, down by Woodbrook Place.
Yeah.
So who's your band?
I used to like All Stars. I was not a big fan, but I used to like All Stars. I used to listen to it. I can't make no big differences. I was, panorama. Like, I'm not a big aficionado.
You're here for a second project. What's your new project that you have coming out?
Well, my book, Wolf Moon.
Wolf Moon, that's
Yes.
the newer project.
Yeah. Wolf Moon is a character who was born in the Wolf Moon.
Yeah.
And he was a fellow who was interfered by the CIA in his brain.
What is the Wolf Moon?
The Wolf Moon is the summer solstice, when the moon is at its highest, most intense time. And many people are affected by the Wolf Moon. And many people are affected in terms of they become a lunatic. When they're born at that time. And he was born, Wolf was born in the Wolf Moon.
Oh wow.
And he has been defended by the CIA, who had him on another character as a CIA agent. So he used to go and commit, shoot people and assassinate. End up drinking punch and rum. And they come.
So the book is set in Trinidad?
Yeah,
Oh.
which you call Trinidad.
Okay.
And so he ended up drinking punch and rum to learn how to get up on that.
If you're enjoying this episode of the podcast, please like, share, and subscribe. It would be really appreciated. Thanks. So you were around for the coup in 1990.
Yes.
I was 3 months old or 4 months old at that time.
Okay.
What was your memory of the coup?
Well, my memory of the coup is that I was in a job in Tacarigua, and there was a girl was retiring, left the job, and we were having a party for her. Everybody watching one another, and doing party, watching woman and watching one another. And a man said, a below the man watching one woman and woman watching one man said, Abu Bakr is going country where he get called. Everybody break up and we go. Now, as a former writer and thing, I went to Woodford Square to see people gathering and so. And I went to people gathering and the Red House was right there. And he had shots in the Red House and everybody stand up on the square watching and watching. And I watching people in my way of role is observing. Well, it's a realize that well, these people are really interested in the coup, you know. They're going to loot.
What you was doing down there? You went with them?
No.
You didn't join them?
I moved faster and then you realize man taking fridge from big fridge and put on the back and walking on the road down the
You know, I hear that joke all the time.
It's true.
You witnessed it.
Then I take food. I know. Later on I went up by my home, which had an area where you could stand up and see it. And you see bombs coming out from the police. People were out back, I was burning buildings.
Wow.
And I later had to go with some city council people, and you see that the selected buildings were burnt. Well, they said that there's no drug dealers.
So he went after the drug dealers.
So he said, and that he was, and he gave us signal. He said, "Do not loot," which was the
signal to loot.
That
was the signal to loot.
And the people take that signal and
You thought it was a signal. Do you think it was a signal?
Then later I realized that.
Looking back at the story, you say, it was a signal because nobody was going to loot, but when he said don't loot, they did.
No, I think they really wanted to loot, but they were waiting for this signal. And he went on TV and said, "No, I tell you, do not loot." Bam!
Well, I'm glad to hear that story, and I'm really happy that you came over and we sat down and had this conversation.
Yes.
I like getting the knowledge because this is stories before my time. I really appreciate you coming here and giving us some wisdom. Where would people be able to buy your book?
Online.
Online? Is it on Amazon?
Yes.
It's on Amazon. The book is called If I Die Tonight, right?
Guys, it's been a pleasure.
It has been a pleasure. It has been a pleasure sitting here and having this conversation. Thank you for coming, and everybody, thank you for watching.
Thank you for your audience. Thank you.
Bless.